Hello and welcome to the League of Extraordinary Atheists for Humanism, where we attempt to apply logic and reason to religion and politics. And I don't trip over my words ever. I'm here with my wonderful, beautiful co-host, Christy Santiago.
Oh, Meg, thank you so much. You're so sweet. And of course, we cannot not mention the man behind the curtain, underneath the desk, living in the future and upside down, not to witness our Lord and Savior.
Indeed.
Hi, guys. Happy hump day. Welcome to LEAH.
Happy hump day.
Happy
Happy.
hump day. That's right. It's always, sorry, I normally don't have those on when we're talking, but I can see so much better. That's the thing with glasses, isn't it? Dang it. Well, we have,
Yes, but they look fine.
yeah.
And other news before we get started, I had um my second wedding anniversary yesterday, and I got gifted a trophy sock. Trophy husband sock. I actually got two, but I haven't worn a sock on that foot in like 2 months. So because it's still healing. But I probably could have held that one up easier than the
Yes,
gymnast
the trophy
I
husband.
had it
Well,
done.
happy anniversary
Oh,
to
thank
both
you.
of you.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thanks.
2 years is a good thing. Still
It
in the
is.
honeymoon phase. Yes, good stuff.
Yeah. I guess it's the cotton anniversary for people who do traditions, which is why I got
Yes,
socks and why she
yes.
didn't. 'Cause I suck. But I
Then
did get
you got
her,
her glass.
huh?
You got her glass, right?
I got her gold. I
Well, I mean
got
that you can never go
I got a
wrong.
gold rose. A gold dip rose. It's her fourth one that I've gotten her. I get them on special occasions sometimes, and that's why I
Isn't it?
did.
It's made out of glass though, right?
No, it's like actually like dipped in gold.
Oh, it's a real rose.
Yeah, it's a real rose. It's
Oh,
a real rose dipped in
interesting.
gold. Yeah, yep.
Interesting.
They're pretty neat.
That's kind of cool. Yeah.
Yeah, they're they're unique. And they last longer than other roses. So
Yes, they do. Yes.
yeah.
I always say if you're going to get me flowers that are potted in soil. Because if
Yeah.
you, yeah, like you know me, I have so many plants. But
Yeah.
yeah, bring it in a pot so I can then cherish it year after year and watch it
So
bloom
it can
every year.
live. Yeah,
So it
that
can
makes
live. Yeah, don't cut it.
sense. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's for
Kill
funerals.
kill this, yeah, kill this beautiful thing for me.
All
All
right. How much
right.
do you love me? Will you kill it?
You kill the rose for me.
Oh
The more we
gosh,
talk
yeah. Tonight
about it, the more demented it sounds.
it does.
Flowers
It
are
does.
nice
It
for
really
your
does.
loved ones, but you
Yeah,
could
I
tell
mean
we're not paid by Big Flora.
a single flower is always nice. I mean, it's beautiful, it's elegant, but
Yeah.
carrying a whole bouquet around all night is kind of just watching them die all night because you haven't been able to put them in a vase or a vase, depending on where you live in the world. Do you say vase or vase?
I usually say vase.
Yeah, same, same. But
Yeah.
I know here in Florida, people say both because there aren't too many Floridians. Most of them come from everywhere else. So,
Right. Yeah, I was gonna say
yeah,
because
and they wonder
because
why
they're
we're
all
so
nuts.
crazy. Yeah, it's not the Floridian. No, it is. It's Florida, man. It is actually
Yeah.
the true blood Floridians. Yeah, they're good stuff, though. Okay, tonight we're going to talk about, we're going to tag team this BBB, this big something
Beautiful.
bill. Yeah, it's a word that doesn't quite fit for legislation, so it's just so
It's the big
silly.
bullshit bill. It's the big bullshit bill.
It is the big budget bill, is what it's just the BBB, big budget bill. I'm going to talk about and touch on what to expect and some facts that I have written down for you guys, and then Mac's going to talk about what we can do, what there is to do, if there is anything that we can do.
What to
So
brace for?
what to brace for. Mine's what to expect and then what to brace for. I It's a lot. I don't know if you guys know it's nearly 1,000 pages. It's a lot. And no, I did not read the whole thing. I read a summary, which also took me a long time. It took me 3 days to get through it. I probably could have got through it, in just a few hours, 6 or 7 maybe. But I split it up because it is a lot. And then I watched some of my favorite people, including attorneys, talk about it. LEAH Miller is an attorney that I enjoy, and she covered the BBB as well
You just
as
did.
the Daily Show. Jon Stewart did a great job covering it as well, and so I feel like I am able to present this with a little bit more knowledge than I would have if I didn't do, or maybe a lot more. I think that's how that works. So let's put my eyeballs back on. Wow, Mac, you really are cute.
Why? Because I yawned.
No, because I put my glasses on. I was like, oh, right. He really is beautiful. I see you, Rachel. All right, business. This nearly a
She
thousand
put her
page
hand up,
bill.
by the way.
Goodness. Excuse me, let me wet the whistle. Not that I can whistle, which is very disappointing in my life.
Hold on.
The white
Hold the phone. You can't whistle?
I've been trying to whistle for years. Stacy she's like, just do this, do this. And my mouth doesn't, there is a higher percentage of women who cannot whistle than men. Like I've looked into this. Like I've really done my
I
research.
bet you did. How how have we been doing the show for what, like 8 years, and I haven't noticed you can't whistle?
No, I can't regular whistle with just my lips or my mouth or use my fingers. It doesn't work. And then
Okay,
I went and
well,
pierced my tongue when I was 18, and I think that just sealed the deal.
comment down below if you want us to do a whole segment on why Christy can't whistle and why so many women can't whistle. Comment down below.
Men too. There is a percentage of men that just cannot. It's not something that they genetically can do.
Right, but
I
we're gonna
like
focus
looked
on you
into
first.
it because I thought maybe I need to learn. There's different ways, and
Yeah.
yeah, there are, and some people can train themselves to do it, but there are a percentage of human beings that will never be able to whistle. So
Can you
it made
like
me feel a little better.
can you get like really, really angry and like have steam go out your ears and
Yeah,
whistle that?
I'm pretty sure I can.
Can you get that angry?
I'm pretty sure I was researching this bill. I
Yeah.
was just blowing out. I could smell burnt hair coming out of my ears. Yeah. Not that there's hair in my ears.
Just
There's just
kidding.
hair around my ears.
Right. No, no, I caught on to
Right,
that.
right. No, just kidding.
All right,
Okay.
back to the
Um, to,
big beautiful
to
bill.
start
And
off, did you
yeah.
guys know that the White House has its own big beautiful bill web page that you can go to via the White House .com, and you just type in the BBB. It's extremely misleading at best. It's so wrong everywhere else. The numbers they have are not any of the numbers from the research that they even. It's a mess. So that's neither here nor there. I just wanted you to know that, like the Democrats have nothing like that. One trying to put together. They have things here and there, but this it looks so good, and if you're not computer savvy you can still navigate it. It promises all of the it's all right. So we're going to touch on taxes, credit and deduction, Medicaid, SNAP, food stamps and food assistance, student loans, and immigration. Those are the five big things. There are many things, but those are the five big things. Taxes, that's where we're going to start. Taxes, this new bill makes Trump's wealthy tax breaks from 2017 permanent. It increases the child tax credit, however, from 2000 down to 1700, and You don't get the whole 1700. It's 15% adjusted gross income and only partially refundable. It depends on how much you've made and how much you've paid in, of course. Increases to the SALT deduction, SALT, that's state and local taxes, made permanent, and this pretty much only helps the wealthy. It also reduces taxes on tips and overtime up to $25,000 on tips if you make less than $150,000 a year. So I was concerned that they weren't going to put that safety in there, if you make this amount or less, because there are so many wealthy corporations in this country who would take advantage of that. They would just
Yeah.
start changing the way that they pay things and just put it under tip. So I was glad to hear that they put 150K max annual income, and you do not pay tax on tips for that one. The next one for taxes is called the Trump accounts and baby incentives. The government will deposit $1,000 into a Trump account when you have a baby, and one can add up to 5,000 per year that will grow tax free. And at age 18, the baby can then, well, it won't be a baby anymore, can then access that. As long as they haven't accessed it, it will stay tax free. Now, is it tax free when they access it? No, no. But up until then, um, senior bonus deduction is another one that sounds so good. And I was very happy to see it until you read what it is. So the senior bonus deduction of 6,000 per year for seniors 65 years in age and up, with up to this is for seniors with up to $75,000 in adjusted income. This will not benefit anyone not making money. This isn't for people who do not make enough to pay into taxes. So all the seniors who need help, shit out of luck. The next one for taxes is the car loan deduction. It is $10,000 for individuals with less than $100,000 in annual income. So if you make less than $100,000 a year, it says, and this sounds good, you could get a $10,000 deduction, except for the average person will, if they do get a new car loan, the average person will get about a $500 deduction. And the car that they get, they can only get that deduction if the car was assembled in the US. So there's a lot of like tricks around that. On the healthcare, I told you we're gonna move really fast. I wanted to just inform us on the mainstays. Medicaid, obviously, the big one. There are video after video after video of all these Republican elected officials, whether it's House or Senate, going on and on. Even Trump, even his vice president, that Medicaid would not be touched. They're not touching Medicare. They're not touching Medicaid. They're cutting 800 billion to a trillion, somewhere in there, of Medicaid. And it removes premium tax credits between 800 billion and a trillion to be cut to the Medicaid program. Cuts to states and providers is what will happen, because the federal government, this is their funding going down to the states. And if they're cutting $1 trillion from this program, states who get it are going to suffer. The providers that receive that are going to suffer, and states will have to make up the difference, which they couldn't, which is why these programs were implemented in the first place. By increasing the state taxes or eliminating certain benefits are the only way states are going to be able to keep up. So by increasing state taxes are going to go up. We've been saying that they have to. And which will be will be an and. They will be doing both, raising taxes and eliminating benefits and certain procedures and certain locations and certain providers. They'll just have to go because there won't be any way to pay them to stay. There will be new work requirements for ages 19 years old through 65 or 64. which will mandate an 80 hours of work per month. Every 6 months, they will now have to reapply instead of once a year. Also, for Medicaid, for the people who do get to hold on to it, there will be a new $35 copay for all Medicaid recipients, which that goes up for everyone. Congressional Budget Office is a great resource, you guys. The Congressional Budget Office says through taking this bill and doing what they do, they have come out to say 12 million Americans will lose health care. 12 million. And that's just their most, conservative. Uh, for SNAP and food assistance, 40 million Americans and 16 million children will lose food assistance. The new work requirements also for food assistance is age 55 to 64 will have to work and prove it and go through all of this to get any food benefits. 600,000 Americans will lose food on their tables. So that's a great legacy. Moving on to student loans. This one really sucks. It sucks so bad. A lifetime borrowing limit of 250,000. So 250K. The parent plus loans that if you're not if you're not in or have been getting loans or have kids getting loans, you might not even know what some of these are. They're very important. The parent plus loan, 20K yearly max and 100K lifetime limit. Does it? The grad plus loans, grad plus, so doctors, anything plus. Uh, you have your no Chomsky, people who just want this. They've been completely eliminated. Eliminated. There will be no government loans for this. Unsubsidized grad loans, 20,500. So $20,000, 500K yearly is the new max, and 200K lifetime limit. So if you listen to LEAH Miller, who has a law degree, she passed the bar. She said it took her. She had a full ride, and you cannot work your first year of grad law school. You cannot. You're not allowed to. And the second and third, you really can't if you want to get ahead. You just can't. So you need those 3 years to get that law degree of just nose to the grind. And it cost her $150,000, and she still became 60 grand in debt. So if she didn't have that full ride and it took her 4 years, she said there's no way she wouldn't have surpassed that 200. And it would have ended. There would be no more funding. She wouldn't have been able to finish school. Like, this is just a huge, nobody's going to suffer who has money, comes from money, and can afford school. Only people who can't afford school are going to suffer. Many student loans will be phased out, leaving only 2 repayment plans. So as of right now, like when I became disabled, I got a deferment because I can't work. I can't do anything. So it's called a deferment. If someone loses their job, they get a deferment for unemployment. So the 2 repayment plans are going to be standard. You get a loan and you make those payments. That's it. There's no plans. That's the one that's offered is the one you get, the standard or income based. So they are going to allow some income based loans. Deferment or unemployment, like I mentioned just a minute ago, or economic hardship has been eliminated. It doesn't matter if you can't work. It doesn't matter if you got your legs taken off in an accident and you can't work. It doesn't matter. You have to now pay regardless. This raises most student loan payments for every single person with a student loan as well. Low income students will suffer the most. Obviously, that's going to be the end result of each one of these. No matter what that policy is, the lowest among them is going to suffer the most. On to immigration. Might as well save the best for last. 350 billion for immigration, 46 billion for the wall, 45 billion for ICE, 100,000 migrant detention beds, 100,000 more migrant detention beds, 10,000 new ICE agents, each getting a $10,000 bonus, a signing bonus. So you sign on to become ICE, you get a $10,000 signing bonus. 10 billion for states that will work with ICE, 25 billion for Trump's Golden Dome, and increased fees for immigrants, which means when you're filling out anything, whether it's for asylum, for anything, all the fees have now gone up. And will limit benefits for larger groups of immigrants, including asylum seekers, refugees, even victims of domestic violence and sex trafficking would no longer qualify for any federal funding or aid. So that has been cut off. So if someone comes over here, like from Ukraine, and they have nothing, they lost, everything's bombed, they came over here as refugees, doesn't mean they're going to stay for life. They just need somewhere right now to be safe, and they need help. Those federal funds are no longer. They'll have to get it through state funds or other programs because they're cut off. I do want to mention one good thing. Part of this BBB had AI in it, and part of it was to have unchecked AI for the next decade. No laws in any state or federally against or for AI, just to let it run for the next decade unchecked. And that has been nixed, as we found out. Marjorie Taylor Greene signed the BBB and then came out a week later and said she had no idea that was in there or she wouldn't have signed it. This is who we have leading our country. People that just have no idea and sign it because their team said it was good. So
This
that's
is
at least out of it.
within this is not within the top 100 dumbest things that Marjorie has done. Oh,
No, this is a good thing that she did. At least she
yeah,
came out and said it and then
yeah,
fought against it, said she would not sign it if it was in there. And I mean, at least there's that.
yeah.
I increased rural hospital subsidies to 50 billion over 5 years, acknowledging that the big beautiful bill cuts to Medicaid will decimate providers, especially in rural hospitals, mostly in red states. So this bill increased rural hospital subsidies. So most of these are in red states. And this bill would have decimated them, making over 1,700 of them close within the next year. So, I'm sorry, 700 of them close within the next 5 years, 300 of them close within the next 2 years, and 100 close within the next year. That is, for some places, the only one hospital, and then it's closed, and now you have to drive 3 hours to get to a hospital. That's not America in 2025. That's insane. So they have increased rural hospital subsidies by 50 billion, knowing pretty much, acknowledging that their own bill would decimate these things. What does this mean for us Americans? According to the Tax Policy Center, the bottom 20% would see an increase of about 8.8% to their after tax income. The second quintile by 1.6%, and the middle 40 to 60% of Americans of wage earners would see an income increase of 2.3%. The 60 to 80% of wage earners will see increases of 2.6, and the top 80 to 100% wage earners would see after tax income increases of 3.4%. And all this sounds pretty darn good, right? I mean, you're like, okay, great. Even to someone who doesn't know taxes that well, it sounds, I mean, especially to someone who doesn't know taxes that well, it sounds great. An increase of 0.8% is an increase that I didn't have last year or the year before. Until one does the math on what those percentages actually mean, and then start to look at all of the other benefits that are being cut beyond the minuscule tax savings. Achieving lower taxes isn't what prosperity is or looks like. One would have to ignore the increased cost of living for the lowest income earners who will now lose out on social services and safety nets like Meals on Wheels. The reality of that 0.8% increase in after tax wages for the lowest income earners means on average they'll be paying about $150 less in taxes. Right. So Mac, you'll save 150. I'll save none because I don't make enough. Because Stacy might save 150 in taxes to lose everything else. 150. Oh, I'm sorry. And then the second quintile will pay $750 less. So if you're in that second, you'll pay $750 less than you did. So 150 for Stacy and I. For anyone making a little bit more, 750 less in taxes. $150 to $750 to me doesn't make up for the loss of food assistance, Medicaid coverage, among many other lost programs and benefits. Meanwhile, the top 80 to 100% of wage earners will pay an average of $12,500 less yearly. And they already don't need food assistance or housing or anything else like that. So the big, beautiful cost of 3.3 trillion in our national deficit, newly added because of this bill, the lowest 40% of wage earners will get at most an extra few $100s less to pay during taxes for all of this. So that is what to expect. Not a whole hell of a lot as far as benefits because of those lower taxes, and a whole hell of a lot of heartbreak and hardship for our fellow Americans. Not to mention all of the aid internationally that has been cut so that a person making, $250,000 a year can save 12,500 minimum. Like, and it's just, now don't get me wrong, these tax benefits that are now going in, if you make under $400,000, this bill is not for you. If you make 400 grand a year or more, this bill is for you. And that's why those people have fought so hard for it.
You begin the donor class.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
The donor class.
Yeah. Um,
Yeah.
and all the legislation contains about 4.5 trillion in tax cuts overall,
Yeah. Yeah.
which is crazy. Um,
It's bananas.
it is bananas, and we're not really deficit hawks here, but uh, but um, this raises the debt ceiling by 5 trillion, which is kind of bonkers bananas. And I mean, for what we're getting for it, it's what we're not getting. Honestly, it's literally like the opposite of what Kennedy said. Not ask what you or what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. It's, hey, what can I get back from not paying taxes? And what does everyone else who is doing better than me, what can they say that I can give up so they can get more money back
Yep.
from taxes? Um, it's something else. It's really quite something. Um,
Yeah. It's the biggest transfer of wealth legislated in American history.
since the last Trump administration and in
Well,
the
yeah,
American history.
he surpassed himself. Yes.
I've really outdone myself this time, folks. I'm really good at deals, but this time I was really, really, really good at deals. Um,
He
yeah,
did though. He outdid himself.
yeah.
I mean, Obama was the deporter in chief. We talked about that
Mhm.
back in the day. And then he was also the droner in chief. In 8 years, he did more droning and deporting than any other president in our country's history until
Yeah.
Trump got 4 years. Trump surpassed droning and deportation in those first not even the whole 4 years before the 4 years was up.
Here, I'll
So
give you another one.
there's
Till I heard Obama was the drone king. That man's not a king. They don't have kings in Hawaii, but we
in
got a
Kenya.
king right here. Daddy's your new king.
Oh God, the daddy thing.
The
Mm,
daddy things.
mm,
Man,
I think I'm
that's
gonna throw up.
huh?
I
Who
might
you?
throw up. It's
Oh,
the
come
whole
on now.
daddy
Now,
thing.
now you sound like
Oh,
Alex Jones. I think I think I'm literally gonna throw up. This only happens
I think
like once a year when something really, really bad happens.
you do him pretty well.
Thanks.
Yeah, he's something.
I wish I could do better
How
things.
how does he still have a job?
Alex Jones?
How yes, how does anyone follow him without it being like
Yeah, I mean
not
Charlie Kirk had to
necessarily
like
hate?
beg for forgiveness. He was against,
Yeah,
I think, against the big beautiful bill at first, and then he had to cry and be like, "Oops, sorry." Tucker Carlson had to call Trump and say, "Hey, I'm sorry. I'm so anti-war. I shouldn't have gone against what you did in Iran."
I'm sorry,
How
Daddy.
do any of these guys have a job anymore? Um,
Yeah, it's
Pitiful.
embarrassing.
It is embarrassing.
It's
Yeah.
embarrassing.
Um, Now, can you
Yeah.
remind me how much ICE gets from this bill? I know you said it like towards the beginning.
Yes. Yes. Let's see. Where will
It's a
we get
lot.
to? Immigration. No, 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 no. ICE will get 350 billion for immigration, 46 billion for the wall, 45 billion for ICE, 100,000 migrant detention beds, no price on that. 10,000 new ICE agents, and each of them with a $10,000 signing bonus. A
Yeah, I heard of it.
10 billion for states that work with ICE, and then 25 billion for Trump's Golden Dome.
Which is just a
Yeah.
gift to Lockheed Martin. Um, so with that,
Oh,
I heard this Golden Dome is gonna rain down golden showers. I'm really excited for this. Sorry, I just had to. First thing
well,
came
I
to mind.
mean, Trump and golden showers,
I
that
know.
goes plus
Yeah.
like peanut butter and jelly. Have, Max,
Stop. You're gonna
have you
ruin
been
peanut butter and jelly.
have you been watching the FBI? Well, I'm sorry, not the FBI. Kash Patel tried to say that now there is a video about Epstein and that there isn't a list of names. Before there was a list of name and there wasn't a video. Remember, there was no video. The
Yeah,
cameras were broke. That was the
right.
now there is a video and there isn't a
There's like
list.
a minute and some missing from there, or
I
something like
watched
that.
the whole thing. I watched the whole thing.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's not
yeah.
just one time it glitches and they're missing a minute. It's multiple times it glitches and they're missing a minute or more.
Oh,
Yeah.
so weird.
And before he wasn't allowed, nobody in there was allowed. I know this is off topic, but it's insane. Nobody was allowed to make unsupervised phone calls in this show. It was part of the original transcript that got released about this. Now the new one says Epstein was brought back to his cell around 10:26 p.m. after having an unmonitored phone call. Like
Okay.
it's just insane.
Yeah. And now, from what I've heard too, is it's not that there's no like Epstein list. It's just that there's no incriminating list.
Right. Right. Because those
Right.
people are very wealthy and they paid for that list to not exist.
Right.
You
And
can't change my mind on that.
The Epstein files that they do have, well, they don't want to victimize the victims again by releasing
Of
that
course.
information and making them relive
Yeah.
all of it.
Oh, yeah. I heard
It's
that argument. Yeah.
yeah.
That argument's insane.
Look,
Oh,
so actually this is fantastic. And I mean this isn't part of our conversation, but um it does go with previous Leah values of
Yes.
we don't believe in like fucking state secrets here. right? Like,
No.
yeah, for like our spies abroad, I
Right.
think Christy and I have a different time span in mind for like how
Yeah.
you should release that stuff because I like broadly speaking, right? Not getting super specific, but broadly speaking, if you have to keep something a secret, you're probably doing something wrong.
I
or
agree.
or
Yeah.
or maybe you're doing something right, but in a really unethical way. And that stuff needs to be, especially when it's
In the
funded by
light. Yeah.
taxpayer money, yeah.
Yeah.
Like just like when someone commits a crime, like let's say someone fights back against ICE taking their neighbor, right? A jury of their peers could say, well, we don't give a shit. We could
Hmm.
say, we think it was justified. We don't want there to be any charges. I forget what that's called, like judicial something. But um,
Yeah, we talked about it with Maggiani as it being one of the outcomes. The
correct.
jury nullification.
Yes. So we could do the same thing for spies or any other things that are the CIA or whatever are doing before 20 or 40 fucking years, like after it happens, like
Right.
things need to be brought to light because we are responsible, right? Things that we've done in the Middle East um, sparked things like, I don't know, maybe you've heard of it, 9/11. Like things that have happened just in Gaza in the last 2 decades. Sparked something, I don't know, maybe you heard of it, October 6th, 7th, 6th and 7th. What happened on the 6th to make the 7th? Um, the but when we don't report on these things, or when we're not even given the information about actions that we've done as a country, then when we have to suffer the repercussions, like literally the public, right? The people who were in the World Trade Center on September 11th. Um, oopsie. That's just how the game's played. Um,
It's
and
blowback. They just accept it.
right.
Listen,
It's
our country came up with the term and the definition. I'm sure it's been a thing and called a thing throughout wars, throughout forever. However, definitionally written down, it became a thing because of the blowback received for the actions of the American government and
right.
military across these. So
It's called
blowback is
consequences.
serious. Yeah,
Yeah.
blowback also is a podcast on Spotify, and everyone should listen to it. I'm sorry, but the Cuban one is the best. The newest
Yeah.
one that's out right now, I'm waiting for it to be done because once I start, I'm not going to want to finish because the amount of history in it is so good. So, blowback, don't miss it. It's really good.
Yeah.
If you like history and you want to know the truth, they really go hard. They do not believe that 50 years should go by either before we get, any information that we as a people, as a country, have acquired, whether it's through back channels, through spies, through espionage, through any of that stuff. 50 years is a long time. I get it. I still want to know and read it. So when new things are released, especially when it came to the Cuban Missile Crisis, when all of that was finally released, it was amazing to go through. It shouldn't have taken that long. It's
No.
ridiculous. Most of those people, are so elderly, are not around anymore, and that's we're not having a missile crisis. So who's really to get hurt? It just makes America look bad. Those leaders aren't in power anymore. Why does it
Yeah.
matter? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So not releasing the Epstein files is just like that. It's like it's getting people off the hook for their actions. And I know a lot of right wingers really want this shit to be like, look at what Bill Clinton did, right? I bet Barack
Yeah.
Obama's in there too.
No,
But
I don't.
no, no, no. I don't.
No.
I'm just saying, as a right when
Yeah.
you're like,
No,
I bet
I've heard
every
them name
Democratic
people.
politician ever, but Bernie Sanders has been
Good.
there 39 times, right? Like,
Yeah, no. Then put it all out there. I don't care who it is. I
right.
don't care if I love
That's what I
them or
said.
I
Like,
hate them. Put it all out there.
yeah, because we've heard that Noam Chomsky could be on that list, and that
Right?
fucking sucks. He's done a lot of great scholarly
Right.
work, but that doesn't mean
It
he
doesn't
hasn't
mean that
done
he did
anything
anything.
awful too. Yeah, yeah,
Right.
yeah. It could mean either thing, and we would own it either way, right? Because
Yep,
here
we
on the
would.
left, we deal with reality as it
Right.
comes, and even when it fucking sucks,
Right.
that's what you got to fucking
Yeah,
do.
I do. I have a feeling. Noam Chomsky said he refused to even talk about it. That it was the dumbest shit he ever heard. That of course he's on whatever, and of course he has conversations or history or even documentation of being with him. Like, and then that's it, and then walked away. So I have a feeling it was probably logistics, like getting from here to here, or or I don't know. I just
Yeah,
he
I
stayed with
mean,
his wife for so long. Like I don't.
yeah, and
But if
like
he
I'm
did,
not
I
condemning
would.
him, but the point is
Right.
that we would act
Yes,
fairly,
but if he
right?
did, I would acknowledge it. I would say
Yeah.
it out loud, and it would hurt. But
Hmm.
at the same time, like it, that list needs to be made. Everything about Epstein, to me, I know people think it sounds conspiratorial. Screams Mossad. It just does. It
Yeah,
does. I'm sorry, it does.
he does.
And
Well,
since
we're just gonna have to add.
the
Go ahead.
the only country or the only thing we can't criticize in this country because of free speech, uh, wink wink, is the foreign state of Israel. So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. Hmm.
Nothing was in the big beautiful bill about that, correct?
As far as I know, that I mean, like I said, I did not read
Nothing
every
about
single page.
Palestine. I didn't see anything
Nothing about Palestine,
about
no.
that. Okay. Well, that's
Although
good.
Kneecap, if you follow music, Kneecap did come out of the court in England today. Very happy. I did post
Right?
about it on my Facebook page. So his lawyer comes out and says that they're on the right side of history because on stage it had said fuck Israel, free Palestine. Who's there? The people that are there are already like for Kneecap and know this Irish band where they stand, or they wouldn't be there.
Yeah.
So to see these people get so up in arms about, I even heard British broadcasters, BBC, maybe it was a different one, but similar talking heads say something to the effect of people wonder how the Holocaust could have happened back in the 30s. Why didn't they do anything? This right here, Kneecap's um, concert, that's how it happened. I'm like, oh my God, are you kidding me? How many
Yeah.
gymnastics you have to go through to think Kneecap would be okay with any genocide whatsoever?
Hey, look, everyone knows that when you fix a couple bugs in the system, Grok can become Mecha Hitler.
Oh
So
God, yeah, I learned that today too. Did you follow the whole thing?
uh
Did you follow the whole thing with Gronk?
I I checked some of it out. But yeah, I don't know if I
Okay,
followed the whole thing.
a good one would be to go to a few of them have been good, but Kyle Kalinske, he doesn't go in depth, but he does enough so that you'll know from the beginning to the end.
Did
Yeah.
you see it?
But
Yeah.
yeah,
I had just
yeah.
found I had just listened to his last thing on Grok, um, where he was like
Today.
kind of slamming Elon and that the that the Texas flash floods and the no warning was Elon's
Yes.
fault. I finished that, looked for the next video, and he had just posted the one about Grok being Mecha Hitler. I'm like, well now I have to skip a whole bunch of videos and go to this one because
Yes.
I need
Yes.
to know what
Yeah.
happened next. I get
Right.
this whole
Yeah. I
episodes.
know. I
So
know.
okay. So getting back on track here, because I mean, I guess we're not super duper off track because my topic was what to fucking do about all of it, not just about the big beautiful bill. Um, which I mean, again, we shouldn't call it that. It's the big bullshit bill. It's the big what the fuck bill.
BBB. The
The BB,
GDBBB.
the goddamn big bullshit bill. Um,
Yeah.
but one of the biggest things, as I asked Christy, now I can't remember again how much ICE gets from it. Was it 45 billion or 65 billion, something like that? Last I heard, they're now more funded than the Marines.
350 billion for
300.
all together, but then 45 billion for ICE. But
uh,
they also get more than that. There's a couple different things that go to ICE, you know.
because the
So,
$10,000 sign-on bonus, that doesn't include
right,
that first amount.
right. And a lot of little things like the 10 billion that goes to states that will work with ICE, that still goes to ICE. It still helps ICE. Like, so $350 billion.
So much of that's going to go to ICE. Yeah,
Yes,
because the ICE is Trump's Gestapo, right? That's just what
100%.
they are. The new Nazi party. They are the worst of the worst. As far as I'm concerned, they are just the new face of the American Nazis. And there's so many Proud Boys and there and so many of them cover the goddamn face, which from what I hear recently from Legal Eagle is probably legal for them to do. Legal, not illegal.
Right.
Which fuck, but um it shouldn't be. Like it really shouldn't be. You are a public servant. And the reason that they're covering their faces is because they're doing wrong and they know it. Or they know that most of America thinks what they're doing is wrong and they disagree, but they want to stay safe. Um, and it's because they're doing stupid shit. Not just stupid, they're doing thuggish, thuggish shit. They're thugs. They're jackbooted thugs who are rounding up your neighbors. Um, look, the whole the whole thing can be summed up like this. For ICE, we don't need immigration enforcement in this country to be anywhere near that big. Um, what we actually need is to crack down on violent criminals. That's it. We all agree on that, right? And they keep saying that all these immigrants are violent, yada yada. Cool, just get the fucking violent ones. Like that's it, right? The ones that haven't paid a parking ticket or the ones who are going to their court hearings, their immigration court hearings, leave them the fuck alone. They're not violent criminals. Um, we don't need ICE for that. They are overstepping what they need to be doing. And honestly, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do about ICE. That's one of my biggest issues right now. It hardly affects me where I am. I
Right.
just see it everywhere else. Um,
Mhm.
I live in a pretty red area. Um, I am surrounded by people who are not Republicans because we're everywhere, right?
Mhm.
I like,
Yeah.
um, I tend to get because I talk about things that I talk about here. I discuss things with my family, my friends, my coworkers at times. Um, and I try to be careful because I don't want to make anyone too uncomfortable where it's really not warranted, right? Especially like in
Right.
the workplace, because that can not be appropriate, and I don't want to make someone feel attacked in the workplace because that's wrong to do, whether you're in the right or not. That's a bad precedent to set. But I can make myself my views known just enough to where if someone wants to talk about it, they can come to me because they can fucking talk to me about like how they hate all the Jews, and I'm not going to
Oh,
report them, but I will talk to them about that.
right.
Um,
Yeah.
so I try to be a safe place, safe space for political and religious talks. I'll drop hints here and there, and if anyone bites, cool, right? But I try not to push it. So I'm encouraging you to do that. That helps. I know more atheists in my little neck of the woods than I think anyone else in my neck of the woods does. Like whenever I tell someone that like is an atheist or who's really kind of left in our area, I'm like, oh yeah, I know um, um, X amount of people in this location. They're like, I thought I was the only one. I'm like, no, you're really not. Just I get it out of people. but,
Right.
um, but that's helpful. That's helpful because then people will come to you and ask you for advice here or there. Like I've been able to um suggest the book Manufacturing Consent to a couple of people before. That's fantastic. I've been able to point people to R and Ra's channel a handful of times. I've been able to
Yes.
tell people what our channel is a handful of times. And it's really fantastic. I get to share information, and that makes a difference. Calling your congressperson is, I don't know.
Yes.
It's really important, but I don't know if it's more important than talking to people in your community. I really don't know
I'd
because
say
you know, just
just
as
as important.
yeah,
Because
because
if they're getting nonstop, like nonstop, they do have pressure, and the public has been able to sway our Congress many times before. So if you
okay,
think, well, there's probably a lot of people calling, I don't have to. No, you still have
right,
to. And most
right,
of them are
right,
automated now. So you don't really have to
right.
do much.
But
Yeah. Emails, though,
the number
they
of
don't
calls help.
see them.
Yeah,
Yes.
you are kind of a number to your congressperson, but if you're
Yes.
showing your number, if you're flashing your number at them, that does help. But I wouldn't hang your hat on thinking
No.
I need to talk to my congressperson. You need to talk to the people in your community. Um, and if you do get to talk to any of your representatives who voted yes, yay on this big bullshit bill, please start by saying, hey, I'm a little confused. Can you help me understand how this bill helps me? Tell them your demographic and say, hey, can you just explain it to me? Because I'm really confused. And let them bullshit at you. Right? Let them do that. And when they're done, cool, tear them apart if you like. But we need some guts, like we need some answers. We need to see the bullshit that they're spewing, especially if they think you're dumb, right? You can catch someone in a lie. Um, record whenever you can. Record your representatives. Record ICE whenever you get a chance. Share that shit online. Um, so far, I don't think it's illegal to say fuck ICE and you guys are all fucking Nazis and record that and put it online. That's fantastic. It gives hope to people around the country and around the world because the world likes to know that the US citizens aren't completely stupid buffoons that are okay with all of this. Um,
Bootlickers.
bootleggers, yeah. Um, So to those jackbooted thugs, don't be looking at them, be shouting out to them that they're fucking fascists. They're Nazis and they should be ashamed of themselves and they need to get the fuck out of anywhere. If you see them fucking anywhere, if you see them at your local police department just pulling in, you should tell them to get the fuck out. They belong
Yeah.
nowhere at this point
Yeah.
because they're just a bunch of fucking Nazis. And if they're wearing face masks, just fucking
Yep.
harass them to take it off, right?
Yes.
Don't lay yourself in jail. Do not assault them. You can't take them,
Right.
right?
Right.
A bunch of Second Amendment fucking Nazis that are looking for a reason to shoot you and your neighbors. As far as
Yes,
I'm
they
concerned.
are.
So approach with caution, but let them know that they're fucking hated.
Yes.
Um, like give them trauma.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
uh,
If you're white or very you're secure, you could handle. getting arrested. You'll be let out the next day. It's protesting. You won't be held, you won't go to jail or prison, but as long as you don't assault anybody. But if you are white and you are privileged, it is a lot safer for us to do that work, to do the protest when
Mm.
our other fellow humans can't, because if they get picked up, they could get disappeared. So it is kind of our job, kind of our priority to be that, like you said, to call them out, to videotape, you know, yeah, no, yeah. It's no ICE, no KKK, no fascist USA. That is the chant that I heard this past um month. No King's Day, on and on. So many of them. No ICE, no KKK, no fascist USA. I like it. It sticks in your head. And yeah, I don't want ICE,
Yeah.
and I don't want KKK, and I don't want a fascist USA. Although that's kind of what we have right now.
Yeah.
You give some really good advice. Staying local is really important. Just going to your local, yeah, just the local stuff, the school board. It, you have kids or don't have kids. It doesn't matter. Your taxes still pay for it. School board meetings, city council meetings, these are open to the public. And these are the close to home areas that you don't have to just be a number. You can be, hey, I'm one of your constituents. I may or may not vote for you. It's in their face. It's a lot closer to home. That's very important as well.
It is.
And being able to, with AI now, them trying to sneak that sneaky bit about not being able to have any laws on AI in our entire country for a decade. That's sneaky. What are they planning on doing? So, it's going to be a hard road ahead of us with the avalanche of propaganda that's about to come our way. Considering what we went through with this past election, I'm sure that was just the tip of the iceberg. Just because we can now have laws on AI, our Congress is so behind. You guys think I'm technically illiterate. I am a tech genius compared to Congress. It's they Yeah, it's bad. They call it the tic-tac-toe. Like they don't know what TikTok is. It's so
Yeah.
bad. It's so bad. So yeah,
Yeah.
there's a lot of work.
There it
But
is.
also,
Um,
if you do see ice, I'd say pull your phone out and just start recording, live streaming, not just recording. They can delete that, live streaming immediately.
yeah.
So even if one person sees it, it can't be unseen. That's so
Right.
important.
And they legally can't take your phone, um, but they'll find ways. So,
Yes,
like Christy said,
they
live.
will.
Um, Two more things, real quick, and then we will go ahead and end the show so we
Mhm.
can be done. Um, but Ice Block. Ice Block is an app. Please check it out. Christy, did you not know about Ice Block yet? Ooh, yes, you like it. From what I'm seeing right here, is that it's not really available for Android, but it can work really well on old iOS devices. Um, it only needs 2.3 megabytes of storage. Um, and it's a really simple app. It doesn't collect any data whatsoever. The guy just made it so he can help his neighbors. And if you see anything on your app, I'm sorry, in your area, it has to be within 5 miles of where you are in order for you to um, flag an area. So everyone else can maybe avoid that area, which is fantastic. And also, once you flag an area, you can't do it again for another 5 minutes. So it can kind of halt some spamming of people who are trying to fuck with the app. You can't just flag anywhere. It has to be within 5 miles of where you are, and you can't do it over and over again, right? So you can't just flood the app and confuse it. So it's really fantastic. Again, that's called Ice Block. It's capital ICEBLOCK. So get
Okay.
that on your phone, especially if you
I
live in
do.
any kind of blue area. You're muted. You're muted, Christy.
Dang it. This app, if we're sharing apps, no thanks. It's called no, when you pull it up on your phone, it's green and it says no. No, no thanks. It is pretty cool to use at the grocery store. You hit the scan right here, and you can scan anything in a grocery store, and it'll let you know if they fund Israel at all.
Oh, fantastic. It's
Uh-huh.
called No
Yeah,
Thanks
it's
Palisand.
fantastic. It's called No Thanks.
Got it. I'm downloading it
Make
right
informed
now.
choices about products you buy. Yep, it's completely free. There's not, like, well, you can only use this
Thank
part
you.
until you pay. No, it's free. No
I'm
thanks.
so
Check
excited.
it out.
Very happy to
Yeah,
know
on
that.
the top, they have the Palestinian flag and the dome and protesters that don't want to be killed. And yeah, welcome to No Thanks. You can support it. You can, donate. There's a huge list if you just wanted to like look over a list. But the scan option, the little hit a little scan right there,
Mhm.
and it
I have
allows
it.
your phone to scan. Yes, there you go.
Yeah. Mac
Yes,
is on.
you will. You,
Okay.
you will enjoy it, and you will also have your mind blown about how many things that you will not want to buy that you love.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like your favorite stuff. Yeah, but somewhat,
Not
I mean,
not
it's a
ready
small
for it.
thing to not have one of my favorite things and have to get something else if it means that a
That's okay.
genocide doesn't get funded another dollar.
Correct.
So
The one of the movements just got the second largest shipping company to stop
yeah,
shipping
I
to
saw that.
the Marks one, I
Yeah, I
think.
saw that. I
Yeah,
don't remember what it's called,
that
but
was
yeah, I was
fantastic.
just it is
Um,
fantastic.
yeah. So there was two things that I had. One was the ice block, and I can't remember the other one. That might have to be it for the
I
night.
hate when that happens.
Shit. Um,
Hashtag brain fart.
yeah, for real. Took too long before I named the second one.
Yeah, I
Um,
probably ruined it.
I might have too. Uh,
I got my new voting card.
well, hey, look at you.
Yeah,
Congrats.
look at me.
Very good.
Gotta
Very
have a
nice.
new
Very
one when
nice.
you move. Very
Yeah.
nice.
Yep. All right. Well, I think that's the show. We need to let Nacha out from underneath our desks. He's suffocating down there. And
How do you know?
because it's my week with him.
Oh, that's right.
Um,
Dang it. Wait, who's
yeah.
this? No, I'm just
Stacy, get
kidding.
out. Mr. Beast. All right, that's all. We love you guys so much. We'll see you next week or so.
Yeah,
And in the meantime, stay humanist. For
humanist
God.
for God's sake.